When we get up in the morning, along with coffee, toast, and cake. If you're like the old Stone Roadie, you like to wake and bake. Now let's join Craig, Reed, and Griff Martin as we head out on the road. So sit right back and buckle right in. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Time to rise and shine. I'm Shelby Barrett, the Stoned for the Stoned Roadie Show, and it's time to Wake and Bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 213, Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 91. Action. Well, alrighty there, looky here, fellow earthlings. Good morning. It's Wednesday, and it's August 21st, 2024. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stoned Roadie, also known in a small circle like FakeBook as the most famous roadie in the world that ever existed on the face of the earth since the dawn of time, since the dinosaurs roamed around on this flat earth. And with me today is my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. And what about it today, Griff Martin? Are we going to have a really, really good show today? They're over.
Well, we'll see what happens, but, you know, we just sit here and bullshit. We don't care. I'll tell you what, I've been getting a lot of people been like rethinking that whole Craig getting kicked out of the damn concert over there, you know, trying to get backstage. There's a lot of people didn't like that. And the more you think about it, you know, I don't know, man. I just think that was some rude shit. I don't think it was handled very well by the Lynyrd Skynyrd camp. And there's a lot of people that don't like it. And the apology was nice of Johnny, but they're saying it didn't feel like it was sincere enough, you know. And you know, it's just wrong that. And Craig says, you know, last night Marshall Tucker was in town. He says, I know I'd have gone out over there and got in at Marshall Tucker. They'd have let you right in, wouldn't they, Craig?
Oh, God, yeah, man. You know, I go see Doug all the time. He says, yeah, Craig Reed's in the audience. He's a Skynyrd plane crash survivor, you know. Well,
and then Craig says, you know what? I really ought to write a book. And it's the first time I ever heard Craig go. I really ought to write a book.
Somebody told me a long time ago, they said, you know, you ought to write a book about this experience you had with Lynyrd Skynyrd. And I'm going, well, God, it ain't over yet. You know, the fat lady ain't really sang yet, you know. And it just seems like all the time there's another chapter that can be written in my book about my life with Lynyrd Skynyrd. Yeah, so
well, you know, you've been nice on the podcast. I think you've been pretty nice, you know, but if you got in a book, if somebody,
you know what, it has nothing to do with, you know, Johnny or Ricky or, you know, any of the tribute band, you know. And people are getting on me about calling them the tribute band. Well, it's the tribute tour, you know. I mean, yeah, it's Lynyrd Skynyrd, but it's a tribute. It's a tribute tour. I mean, that's what it's been for a long time. So if it's a tribute tour, it's a tribute band, I guess. I don't know. People, I don't know. They think I'm being disrespectful by calling them the tribute band, but you know, basically that's what they call themselves anymore, really. But yeah, they go by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Yeah, that's okay, that's cool. But you know, it's a tribute band. But
well, we were talking about was like, you know, and you said, what happened if Joe Walsh were to walk back there, you know, and go, hey,
Well,
man,
yeah,
I'm Joe Walsh, you know?
Yeah, Joe Walsh is like right up the street, and you know, I don't think you can call their management. I don't think you can even get a hold of that number. Last time I tried to get through the management, I couldn't get through. It told me to go through New York or whatever. So, you know, and I got people's numbers. I can get a hold of somebody in the crew through Facebook or whatever. But yeah, but I just thought I would, you know, I wouldn't have any problem showing up. Heck, the back gate back there is only 200 feet from the stage and the production office. I'm sure they got the message as to who I was, and I'm sure if Joe Walsh would have showed up or Freddie Salem, they all live here real close, you know, to, you know, within walking distance of Clay's Park. There's a lot of musicians from this area, you know. What if they'd have just showed up and said, hey, you know, I'm here? I bet they'd all got in, but yeah, just coincidental that I couldn't do it. I've been doing this stuff for 50 years. I know how to get into a show. I haven't paid to get into a show since 1972 before I started with Lynyrd Skynyrd. I've got into a show ever, you know, for 50 years without no problem. I shouldn't have any problem getting in the show with that one, but somebody didn't want me in there, you know.
Well, you kind of knew that you weren't going to get in before you even went down there, you know, because that's why I told you, I said, well, if you're going to go down there, you record it. You need to record that, man. And, you know, it's just sad as hell.
Yeah, I should have recorded. I was out there for 10 minutes just signing autographs and giving away business cards, and those guys were going, man, it's cool you're here. It's nice to meet you, man. It's an honor. You know, you're in a plane crash, and you're one of Skynyrd's first roadies. And, oh, yeah, that song they wrote about you, what's your name? Oh, that's cool, man. The guy that went to look for the person that could get me in said, yeah, the tour manager said no. And he come back and he said, they said no. Like, he was shocked.
Yeah. Probably because they probably let other people
you're with the old
before.
band, and you're with an airplane crash survivor, and they're telling you no. I mean,
yeah, he knew.
He was shocked. I said, well, who said that? He said, the tour manager.
Yeah, he knew that they
so,
had the power to let you in or not. Yeah.
You know, they know what's going on. Johnny didn't hear the whole story.
I don't know, you know, maybe they're just pissed off at us, Craig, because they don't like what we do on this podcast. But you know, we raise money for plane crash survivors, man. You know, cut us a little break, you know. But that's
well, we didn't start doing that by, you know, like I got word that Mark Frank wasn't happy with his living arrangements, and he was wanting to move, so I contacted him. I goes, hey, buddy, you know, you need some money. I got a couple $1,000 here for you. I said, but, you know, I've been trying to figure it out so I can do a presentation on the STONED Roadie show is exactly what people have sent me and what they designated to go to you. I said, it's kind of I'm trying to put it into a thing where I can do a presentation on the show and make it, you know, neat and clean and, you know, and everything. And so it got turned into to be a little more difficult than it, you know, but I know, I basically know how much everybody's getting, and I know I got it, the 5-way divide figured out, and then you got another $1,000, so you got a couple of $1,000 coming. I said, so I just did a Zelle money transfer to him and sent him the money. Yeah, and he really appreciated it, man. He goes, God, you guys are just great doing this, you know. And I says, man, Mark, it ain't really us, you know. I said,
yeah, it's the people that watch the podcast that donate.
People send in the money, you know, and we just kind of hold the money until there's enough to send out a nice lump sum to send everybody. You know, we don't like to send it out a little bit at a time, like to hold on to it and send out a good chunk of money to everybody, you know, because we're sending out over $1,000 to everybody. And Mark Frankie's getting over 2,000 because he sold that book, and Lisa bought it for $1,000. So yeah, we've taken on we've only taken in about just a little over about $6,500 total, and then there was only like 4,700, something like that, to divide 5 ways. So it was less than $1,000 a piece in the divide thing, and that's even including the money we raised for those stickers that Clayton Johnson sent in to us. I think we got like $920 for those stickers. I don't know. These figures are in my head, but
yeah, it's not like whenever we have the podcast, we ask people to donate all the time. And we say, if you want to donate, here's Craig's email where you want to donate to him. We take donations and stuff like that, but we don't go around begging for donations. The people that watch the podcast are gracious enough, and they offer it out of their, from their own heart, So, this are really a lot of people that love Lynyrd Skynyrd and the plane crash survivors, and that's why we call them the forgotten survivors, because they are forgotten, right?
This has it's oh, here's my microphone. It's been a godsend for a couple of the guys. A few of the things we've done out here we're almost like disciples, man. We're cousin Figel, the things we've kind of done for him, and the things he's done for me. It's kind of, I watch your back, you watch my back, kind of the thing we're doing here. And you get all kind of gifts, and I get all kind of gifts too.
There's some really great people that that they really love Lynyrd Skynyrd, and they want to help, and it's just, you don't even have to ask. They just, look at Jesus for Survivors, how much money he donated. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, there's quite a few people that have donated like $1,000.
And Angela Leonard, and all of those people,
she's got she had like 860 or something this last time.
It's just really awesome. And then you had Kent Griffith and Brandon Campbell donated all that stuff.
Donated those,
and we auctioned it all off.
Those posters we got $550 profit out of those or $350 profit after the shipping.
So it would be nice, if people knew that Lynyrd Skynyrd kind of thought about the plane crash survivors. We're not trying to attack them or anything, but the fact that they didn't recognize you to let you backstage like that's just kind of like a shitty.
Oh, that's a management deal. He hasn't liked me from the get go, and
but Craig, though, he
tried to throw me out of the. It's just a coincidence that he tried to throw me out of his show. I was working up in Cleveland, working as a stagehand, and he seen me and tried to have me sent home. And the union guy said, "Man, he's not here to see your band. He's here to work. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. Well, we'll switch gears and get off that subject before people get their crying towel out. Somebody sent me an email and they go, "Griff, Charlie One Horse is not a person." So I didn't know that. I thought,
that's just a company.
Yeah. So that's just a company that makes it. It wasn't like there's an Indian called Charlie One Horse and he's sitting there chewing on some leather trying to mold up a hat for Ronnie. But I appreciate all the information. Most of the information comes from our subscribers whenever.
It's a good name for a hat, though.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds like an Indian guy.
And they make a good hat.
Oh, make a great hat. Yeah.
Something I was watching, I like to watch these other podcasts a lot of times. And, Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, he's got this podcast called Really? Oh, really? I don't know. It's probably like New York humor or something. And I think he's kind of a liberal. But they had Dick Van Dyke on there. And he's 98 years old, and that guy's as sharp as a tack. And he was like really interesting. Talking about stuff that he did back in the day, and all the parts that he turned down and stuff. But there's some really cool podcasts out there and some interesting characters. And like you were talking about that one guy, Bo. What was his name? His first name? I forget his first name, but he's got all those followers, and he's dancing around, and then and he's dancing, and then he gets ready to start singing, and then he's like, oh, he can't sing worth a damn, but yet he don't.
Well, I know I saw that Greg Martin put up a post, and it had that guy Bo on it,
Joey Bo, yeah,
Joey Bo.
And
I went, what the hell is this? And Greg Martin follows that guy and just says, and he said, man, I wish I had the enthusiasm to sing like this guy does, man. He just into it, boy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I wish I had that kind of enthusiasm, So it was funny to see Greg Martin following this guy, Bo. I kind of watch him too. He's kind of funny, but he's he's kind of down to earth and tells like he does that one thing about the first meeting with a woman from online.
Oh yeah, how they use that filter.
Yeah.
He says,
he's kind of funny. Like I said before, he goes fishing and rides motorcycle. He says, I'm a professional motorcycle rider. But he's a character. He's got a lot of confidence, man.
Yeah, I think even though he's like some women think he's kind of gross, but I think they like the way he dances. women love a guy that dances. I can't tell you, the girls I've dated, they're like, oh, let's go dancing. I'm not a big dancer. I mean, I think it's kind of like stupid.
No, I never
have been a dancer.
I never could be.
But these women, that's like, if you don't dance, you're not going to get hooked up if you don't dance. So there's been plenty of times that, I had to go out there and dance if I didn't want to get a date, with a girl. You got to go out there and dance, man. And these women, and that's what he does. He's a big dancer, he's into all that dancing. But those are just a few talking points that I thought we'd go over, and then we got a lot of great comments that we can start talking about here. I got like about 22 comments, so we can start going through those and just called jibber jabber. Like Craig and I, we like to jibber jabber. So
we were talking about TVs. And my sister called me last night. She said, did you just get a new TV? I says, no. And she was asking me about TVs because I said, just get a cheap one because she's 90 years old. She says, I said, just get a cheap one and just use it until it breaks and then just get a new one because they're not worth buying it. They're not, you hardly can fix them anymore. They're not worth fixing. Just get a cheap one and use it till it breaks and then get a new one.
Yeah, I just bought one. It wasn't that much. It was a pretty big TV. I forget how many inch it is, but it was only like $130.
I told her, I said, this is a perfect time of year because they're probably coming out with the 2025 model and you can probably get a 2024 model for $1,000 less. Whatever.
Yeah, I got what they call a Fire TV. And it's like a built-in Fire Stick. So and it's pretty easy. And you just take your phone and they got that SKU on there, and you just that code reader, and you just put your phone up there and then you tap on it, and it just hooks you right up into your Google account and everything. It's amazing.
Oh, that's an Amazon TV, so they probably got somebody to make those TVs. Somebody makes them for them. But it's a Fire Stick TV.
Yeah, they call Amazon. It Fire TV. Is that Amazon? Yeah,
Fire Stick. Yeah,
but I don't have
got
Netflix. I don't have. I've got Amazon, I watch some Amazon stuff, but I mostly just watch just YouTube and stuff like that. There's so much
Yeah,
stuff
it's
on
mostly what I
YouTube.
watch too. Yeah.
There's tons of stuff on there that you can watch. If you can't find something to watch without paying for it, you got a problem. I don't watch a lot any of that Netflix, that satanic channel, Netflix. But anyway, we'll break into these comments. And you ready, Craig, to start going
Yeah,
over some of
yeah.
these
Go ahead.
comments?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let me see here. Oh, yeah. Right off the bat, Tim Fawcett says if Craig would have been allowed backstage and brought up on the stage before the audience, it would have blown the roof off of the place. I agree. If they'd have said, "Hey, we got Craig," and a lot of those people, they're going to know you. They're going to know who you are.
Yeah.
They're going to know who you are.
Yeah,
Bring you up on stage.
Most place people that find out I was on that airplane crash and it was a Lynyrd Skynyrd roadie trying to kind of almost treat me like royalty. I mean, I don't want to act big-headed about it, but I get treated pretty well because of that.
Okay, let's move along to the next question here. Steve Pitt asked, Craig, I was wondering if you got your telescope out last night. I was up at 4 a.m. looking at Jupiter and Saturn. It was a magnificent sight. Did you get your telescope out yet, Craig?
No, it was cold and rainy. Yeah, it was rainy and cold and nasty. Yeah. That thing's too dang big. That thing's great big, it's got that great big tripod and it's got this great big weight bag that holds it down. And it takes it takes a little bit to set it up, and then you got to tear it all down, and yeah, it's a process, and it was not good weather here. Yeah, it was all cloudy. You couldn't see anything.
Well, you might, if you start looking at the moon, you might start noticing that it's a hologram and it isn't real. So, maybe it's not a good idea to even look at it. Then we got Kimmy, and Kimmy, let me see. Kimmy actually asked a really cool question. She goes, she's wondering if you think Crawdaddy would have been upset about Steve playing I Know a Little with Skynyrd. Wasn't it a song that he played with Crawdaddy?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that situation. You're supposed to go out there a couple days, aren't you?
Oh, no, September 14th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Aren't you gonna see Gene here next week or something?
I'm supposed to go fishing with Gene here. We're going to go fishing some new lake he found, and I'm going to record it, and we're going to do some jigger fishing. I'm going to see if I can't get that. He said, well, we could do it during this blue moon, because at night I don't know how well my camera's going to do, but we're going to work on it. So, but yeah, Gene and I are going up there on the 14th. We've already been talking about it, and I'm hoping to get to interview some of the guys because they're going to be there. Crawdaddy's going to be there. A lot of the guys that were in that band, and Lone Star Skynyrd's going to be there. Matter of fact, somebody asked a question in here to update them more about what's going on up in Oklahoma, but I really don't know a whole lot about it yet. I'll probably get in touch with those guys at Lone Star Skynyrd and find out a little bit more about an itinerary, and I'll get back with you because some of the people, they want to be there. So I'll find out some more about that. But yeah, Kimmy, Craig, I don't know, man. I imagine those guys, Steve probably wrote that song with them and played it with them, and then they probably were glad that he sang it with Skynyrd.
I don't know. Don't know nothing about that situation, so.
Yeah. But he played he played it with the guitar that you made, right? That Telestrat that you hooked up?
Yeah.
That was played on a guitar that and you actually had possession of and sold it, right?
Yeah, I put that together. That was a guitar that there was a old body that had been laying around in the warehouse. It was about 10 different coats of paint on it, and I think it belonged to Ed King, and he didn't want it. And it was just a Strat body, and I just stripped all the paint off of it down to bare wood, and polyurethaned it, and then Alan had a neck that had a little dip in it, and he did it was like a 57 Strat maple neck, nice neck, but it had a little dip in it. Not real bad, but a little one. So I just kind of threw it together with a Schechner, an old Schechner kit with a brass plate, and it was all natural wood and all brass, and I just put it together, and we were up in Studio One, and I had it in a Fender guitar case, and Steve was opening up cases, and he goes, "Wow, whose is this?" And I said, "Oh man, it's just something I put together." And he hooked it in an amp. He goes, "Man, you mind if I record with this?" I goes, "No, I don't give a shit."
Really?
Yeah. So he recorded with it. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Estes used it I loaned it to him for about 10 years. Mike Estes had it and used it all the time.
And then you sold it, got a pretty good amount of money.
Then I got it back, and then I sold it for 50 grand.
Wow. That thing, you imagine what that's worth now? And you don't even really know where it is, do you?
No, the guy that bought it, he's the same guy that got Alan's hot rod.
Yeah, we don't know if that guy's either dead or
no,
what happened.
He wasn't in good shape. That was 2011. So
then Kimmy says she remembers someone trying to give her a Quaalude in 5th grade. Damn, Kimmy, you guys started early there. 5th grade. I couldn't imagine being in 5th grade and one of my buddies coming up and say, "Hey man, want a Quaalude?" And Steve Jones, he asks, was Grace Slick and Mickey Thomas with the Jefferson Starship when Leon played with
him? Grace Slick wasn't.
No? But Mickey Thomas was?
Yeah, it was Mickey Thomas.
Yeah, I'm wondering when she dropped out.
I think Mickey was there. I'm not even sure, but I don't even remember if Mickey was there, to tell you the truth.
I wonder if there's a video of Leon doing that anywhere. Leon playing.
God, that was
Starship.
Like 91 maybe.
Yeah.
91, something like that. Yeah.
David
we were drinking that Booker Nose. I was telling you about that.
Yeah, that Booker Nose.
That was, I was with Leland, and we were pretty buzzed up that night. I don't remember much. And Papa John Creech was there, and we got him all messed up on that Booker Nose.
David Hester says, talk about going to a show early. I remember in 1978, we were hanging around the front of the Civic Center. I don't know where he was, when 5 people were riding bicycles around. Turned out to be the guys in Heart. They saw we recognized them and came over to meet us. They gave us tickets backstage. That was a great night. Sounds like almost like 78. I saw them in 78 at Lakeland Civic Center. I wonder if that's where you were at there, but I don't know why they'd be riding a bicycle around.
I can't imagine Ann riding a bicycle.
Well, back then, man, she was
still heavy.
78, she wasn't.
Well,
78, she was pretty.
She was always a little chunky, in my opinion.
Well, but they'd have to be emaciated for your taste, Greg. You like
had a little meat on her bones even back then. I could tell she was going to be fat.
You thought you could see she had. Well, when you were in the helicopter with her flying into that concert, was she chunky then? Was she a curvy girl?
The helicopter was leaning on her side.
Oh God, dang! I hope she's not watching.
I think the pilot had a rough time with it. A lot of cargo on that left side of her.
Oh shit! Well, I'll tell you what,
I think he told her to sit in the middle or something.
She can damn sure sing, man. She can damn sure sing. And John Afferty says, if anyone should be allowed to have a tribute band, it would be Skynyrd. The band disbanded by a bad accident, not because it was a misadventure. Yeah, that's true. They come back as a tribute band because it was,
Ronnie, like I always say, Ronnie always said, one of these days my little brother's probably going to be singing my songs, and that's the way it is. And I'm sure Ronnie's glad that Johnny's here to do it, to carry on and to do it. He's really keeping his brother's legacy alive. I believe that he's helping. I mean, it's going to live on even when Johnny goes away at this point. But he's doing it justice. I mean, they're selling out. I mean, their popularity is still obvious. They're still selling.
Well, it sounds good. They sound.
Great. Yeah, they sound great. So, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with them.
Damn sure.
They're all very professional. Damien and Sparky and Ricky and
they're doing a great job.
God, Michael's a great drummer.
Ain't no question about that. They're doing a fantastic job. Carol the Cake Girl, you guys should do a live stream. Yeah, well, shit, man. It's like, I'm having like some damn computer issues on this. I'm going to have to go in and edit because Craig and I have had several interruptions on this podcast. I had a bad storm blow through here. So if you guys see it's all jumpy, it's because I had to go in and edit out all of the frozen parts that when my computer was having a bad connection. So I can imagine trying to do a live stream.
You've been not only a co-host but a director and a producer and a editor and everything on this one. You had to.
Oh God!
You had to work your ass off on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have trouble getting it edited before 6 o'clock. Hey, let me see. Brian Gibbons says he doesn't have a problem subscribing to shows on his smart TV. Remember how we were saying we can't really figure out how to, like, if you see subscribe and you're on your TV, he says he can subscribe to podcasts on his smart TV.
I don't know how he does it. I don't have a way to push the button.
I don't either. Yeah, I've tried it.
He must have some kind of pointer on his, but I got all Samsungs and they're all not that old. This one here is this is a 40-inch in here, and it's not.
Send Craig an email there, Brian, about how the heck to do that. Let me see. Kagi says he noticed that all the shows with women on our podcast have more subscribers. You guys should wear blonde wigs.
You did
well,
that,
everybody.
You put a mop on your head. That one.
Yeah, when Kathy couldn't.
Kathy Godsey.
Yeah, I think it was a towel.
Oh,
yeah, women look better than guys, man. And they see the thumbnail of some women on there, and they're like, yeah, I'd rather watch some women than some men. And we do need to get Shelby back on here because she's got to start taking my place whenever I go on the road, because I plan on doing some more road stuff here coming up. Although I think Shelby is going to be in Oklahoma the same time that I go up there. I think her and her mom are going to go up there, so because she wants to go up there.
Well, the rumor must be true. Good-looking people advance more further than ugly ones.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You should try to look your best there, ladies.
Yeah,
and gentlemen.
And Reverend Randall asks, are there any Woodstock survivors out there? Yeah, if anybody's made it to Woodstock, Go into the
I
comments and
I
talk about it.
almost went. You know, I don't. I live in northern Ohio, so
It wouldn't
I
have been that
almost
far.
went, but
Well, you said you were scared of the purple acid.
no, I just, I don't know. I
Oh,
almost went. I thought about it. I was only like 18 then. Yeah.
yeah, I almost went with the
It's
neighbor,
not,
but
I was
like,
18.
but my father killed it, and I think I was only like 9 or 10. I thought it was a camping trip. I didn't know it was going to be an acid fest. That's why my
Yeah.
dad didn't let me go, even though my dad probably did his share of acid before.
It's a wonder that I didn't go because the crowd I was running with, and it's just a wonder I didn't go. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and you said that Strawberry Alarm Clock was invited and they didn't go, and
they said that they didn't think it was going to be that much of a big deal. It's what I heard on a show just the other day, that they didn't think it was going to be that much of a big deal. And then, like I said before, Roy Rogers, they wanted Roy Rogers to be the the end of it and sing Happy Trails while everybody was as a
I
closer.
I saw a thing with a podcast that had Rick Derringer on there, and they were asking him, did he ever play with Jimi Hendrix? And he said, "Did I ever play with Jimi Hendrix? I taught him some of my licks." Yeah, he was good friends with Hendrix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said he used to play with Hendrix a lot. You know, he'd sit in with him, and they were a lot of gigs together. And he was serious. He said, "Yeah, I taught Jimi Hendrix a few licks." Now, I mean, I know Rick Derringer. You know, he was involved with Edgar Winter and Johnny Winter, and of course, he did that. He goes back a long way. With that whole Sloopy thing, and uh, yeah, he was he's a pretty good guitar player, so I could see that.
Yeah, I talked
Um,
about Sharon Lawrence. Sharon Lawrence started out with Jimi Hendrix.
oh, really?
Yeah, she was our publicist, our first publicist. I give her credit for giving Skinner that rough and tumble
Yeah, the Bad Boys.
Southern image, the whiskey drinkers and the biker image. She's the one that kind of started all that. I give her credit for that. But she wrote that book, So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, and I'm actually in that book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
know.
yeah, she started out with Jimi Hendrix. I remember she gave Alan a couple of things that were Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, really? Wow, that's
Hmm.
cool. And I remember Ed King talking about when he met Jimi Hendrix, and where did I hear that? And Jimmy ate like about 10 candy bars or something.
Oh yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
he
don't
was sitting
remember
there
what
eating
kind.
a bunch of Snicker bars or something. He just one right
I
after
don't
another.
remember what kind they were. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, Ed
remember.
King was saying, yeah, he said he was freaked out by it. He's like, damn, he's eating a damn bunch of candy bars.
Gary Rossington liked Butterfingers.
Oh, did he? I
Yeah,
like a
yeah. When he
Butterfinger.
was he was in the hospital. He said, "Don't forget my Butterfingers." I take him Butterfinger every time I go to the hospital.
All right, moving along, and KG again says, knowing Ron Eckerman as well as I did, the one thing that bothered him is that his name was on the lease of the plane that crashed, and he said that kind of always bothered him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I guess
yeah. I
he
heard
had
that.
something to do with renting the plane, but it wasn't really the plane. It was the pilots didn't put any fuel in it, so you know.
Hey, Wicker, Leon.
Let me see here. Carol, the cake girl, says, I try to get at least 20 miles in per day on my bike. I may as well get some skin formation in while I'm doing it. Carol, the cake girl, let me talk to you a minute about that bicycling 20 miles a day, because, you can injure yourself doing long distance cycling on bicycles. And Google muscle imbalances, because I know I got jacked up on riding a bicycle. If you don't if you don't like clip in to where you're pulling the pedals up just as much as you're pushing them, then that can screw you up, because what it does is it puts too much uh, stress on certain muscles. And then you need to also, I would suggest, go do some swimming, because riding a bicycle will definitely cause you some issues. It'll actually cause a huge muscle imbalance if you do it every day. And I wouldn't do it every day. I would only do it like 3 times a week. And I wouldn't. I would say 20 miles is okay, but I did a lot of cycling, and I know a lot about that. So yeah, be careful with that. Crazy Bob says, "I'm a fat ass." He said a fat effer. I changed it to ass. I'm a fat ass, uh, but thanks to Craig, I lost 40 pounds. Keep calling me a fat ass because I need to lose 20 more pounds. Yeah, yes, Greg's good for that, man. Fat shaming. Joe Mueller. They used balloons to spot the enemy during the Civil War, which was quite dangerous for the user. Yeah, I was talking about if they'd had a drone back in the Civil War, they would cut, maybe that would have been a great thing. But I forgot they had balloons that they would send a guy up in a balloon to see where the enemy was, and they would start shooting at him. I read a thing in a book about that. Yeah, that they went up in a balloon, they would start shooting at them, and but it did help. They did have balloons, so yeah, you're right there, Joe.
I guess they were hot air balloons too, I guess.
They
Well, I
might have
wonder
been,
how they sewed them together and everything.
they
They
might have
didn't.
had helium back then. I don't know, but remember back in the Tartarian days, they had balloons for everything. Blimps.
Yeah, well, they charged those off of those antennas off those big tall buildings. They had those balloons. I don't know what kind of power they were using. They must
Yeah, well, they had to
have had
been filled
electric
with.
motors in them.
They
They
had to
must
been
have
filled
some
with
kind of motors.
hydrogen or helium or something.
Well, they were charging them on those towers, and those were electric towers.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
we
know.
might not ever know, because
All that technology was destroyed back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. That's why all those insane asylums were developed, because they got rid of everybody that knew anything about that Titarian technology. They put them in an insane asylum, got them out of the loop, so they
that's
could
what they're
talk
going to do
about
with
it.
us, isn't it, Craig? They're
I
going to
don't know
put,
what their plan is. They're crazy.
yeah, they're going to put us in a
They're mentally
mental.
ill, and some of the problems. There's probably people who listen to this podcast that are going to vote for that guy that wants to put Tampax machines into boys' bathrooms.
Yeah.
Y'all are mentally ill, man. I don't know
I
what the
mean,
hell's
yeah,
wrong
here's a guy, he says, yeah, we need to put Tampax in the boys' room.
with you.
What the hell, man?
I
You
don't
know,
know. You
that
know,
is mentally ill. That is mentally ill for
people are
sure, man.
people are paying like 15, 18, 20 to almost 30% interest on their credit cards. And I remember, well, I don't really remember. I wasn't around back then when the mafia were loaning people money, and there was some of these mafia kingpins that went to prison for a long time for loaning people money and charging them more than what 8% interest or something. There's a lot of mafia guys that went to prison for that. Now they're charging triple that amount of interest legally. People are crazy.
I saw a video clip of they were paying people to go to the Kamala rallies.
Oh yeah. Oh my, yeah, yeah. Well, they have to. Well, they're doing it in Chicago. That'll be there. I think there's enough crazy people there to go. I don't know.
Yeah, that Democratic convention, they had a bunch of vans, and they were like they were shipping them in, man, paying them $15 an hour, and and they had a lot of protesters out there that were that were seeing them go by, and they're like, man, you can't even get your own rally crowd going. It's so crooked, man. Those liberals are so freaking crooked, and they call Mr. T a liar.
Oh my God, those people lie so much. They lie, and they think they can lie and just do it enough that it's the truth. They've been doing that for a long time. Yeah, they say they're gonna fix the things that are broke that they should have fixed in the last 4 years they were there. I don't know.
Then I got a couple emails that somebody sent me. One of them says, a girl named Lisa says, compare Johnny Van Zant to Ronnie Van Zant. How were they alike and how were they different?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good question, huh?
Yeah, yeah, they're kind of different. Yeah, they're I can't
Johnny's
explain
kind
how different, but
Johnny's kind of
they're
calmer, isn't he?
well, Donnie, Johnny, and Ronnie are all totally different. I mean, I don't know about Donnie and Johnny, but yeah, they don't seem to be alike either, really. Donnie and Johnny don't seem to be anything alike to me. I don't know. But yeah, Ronnie was totally different than the other ones too. In my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah, he was a little.
Just their demeanor.
Yeah, he was. I guess Ronnie was. I don't know. Maybe Johnny had more patience, but Johnny still liked to fight, though, right? I mean,
I don't know. You know,
I mean, I remember Paul Abraham talking about how he's always fighting.
He was when he drank, he liked to get obnoxious, I guess.
And then a guy named, I don't know who this is as far as one of the, he wants to know, when's he getting his prize, Craig?
Which one is it?
I don't know. It's I didn't write his name down. Here,
soon.
Yeah, he's wondering, man.
I got it wrote down. I'll send them out soon. I know I'm retarded.
It's been a while. I guess
I can't say that word. I don't think you're allowed to say that word.
But anyway, that's it on the comments, and I got a lot of editing I got to do, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And
yeah, you'll be.
Today's Wednesday, and so
you'll be all morning trying to figure that one out before 6 a.m. So yeah,
everybody have a good hump day, and I'll see if I can't. If it's 7 o'clock when you guys get this, that means Craig didn't get it. He got it an hour late. So.
Oh God, these dogs are on my lap here. I can't. Hold on. Got to clear off a spot. I can maneuver this mouse here.
I don't imagine my audience is much more different than normal regular people. 80% of people out there are fat, so I imagine 80% of people watching are fat. So,
so anyways, yeah, okay.
Happy trails.
This has been podcast 113. Yeah. Oh, whatever. Happy trails to you until we meet again. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. And that's a wrap. Cut.
See you later.